you're one of the little vain peon little fuckers that think they can hang out in West Hollywood publicly. You try to find somebody who has a lot of money because you're a whore. I bet you are a whore. I bet you are a whore. You know what, you little fucker? I am blood related on my father's side to Sir Isaac Newton, and on my mother's side, I am message review. Hi, Tony.
So, I'm going to talk to you about betrayal. And there could be betrayal after years and years of being a family, because maybe some woman was a homewrecker and decided to sleep with your dad, and your dad got carried away and decided to support her family while he's supporting your family for 3 years, while you and your mother and whatever didn't know that the betrayal was happening. There's a lot that happens for the subconscious that will let you know because of emotion if somebody is capable or if you are being victimized by one's betrayal. And so there's something that happened. I met this, I'm not even going to tell you who he is because he's not even worth talking about his credentials and his status. But I just left this message on his messaging device, and I really wanted to share it with you because he's a snot. So here it goes.
You just stink. And you're one of the little vain peon little fuckers that's taking a message review. Hi, Tony. This is Tyler. Anyways, I think you are emotionally tricky, and I don't think there's any way you can live it up. And I don't think you're nice, and I don't think you're worth my time. And I'm a very nourishing person, and I'm a catch. And I have better things to say about myself than you even can say about yourself. And you just shut me off. Actually, I wasn't even really that attracted to you, to be honest. Honestly, you don't. I mean, I wear $100 silk bow ties, and I wear cufflinks, and I have all my meetings in Sweet Beverly Hills. I know a little bit more about this stupid little St. Mary's. I'm not impressed with you. I think you're selfish. I think you're vain, and you have no respect. At this level of academy, you show more respect for people, and you lose bias is what you do. And you open up your mind to hear people. And you're a little snot is what you are. And you don't think your shit stinks. And you're one of the little vain peon little fuckers that think they can hang out in West Hollywood publicly. You try to find somebody who has a lot of money because you're a whore. I bet you are a whore. I bet you are a whore. You know what, you little fucker? I am blood related on my father's side to Sir Isaac Newton, and on my mother's side, I am I have Armenian Empire and Armenian aristocracy, and I have plenty enough money to be living it up in West Los Angeles. And another thing, you got a black heart. You know that because you have greed. And you're never going to be happy if you think that you can just get more, in life and bless things by God while dicking people around because you want things on your terms. I know your type. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. I know your type. I actually could help you. I could help you open a private practice. I know something about that, you dick. And you know what? You can't get away with being in LA and going around burning bridges and hanging up the phone on people. Because people are very smart. I'm one of them. And people remember you. And I like to encourage you to remember me. Because when I'm rich and famous, if you're spotted out in the line, you'll be escorted with your ticket. We'll give you refunds, and you're not able to go to my concert. I'm a trained opera singer. You have no idea. And you know what? You're typical of trash. You know that? trash. You're not even worth someone of my caliber. You know that? I don't give a fucking shit if you're in a private school teaching. Whoop-de-doo. You're young. You're young. You're not experienced. You're arrogant is what you are. That's how you're able to get these doors to open for yourself. You're arrogant. And you use your little puppy eyes to get your little way, and you work your charm. You know why? Because you manipulate. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're not worth shit. You know that? Because you're mistreating honest gay guys that fight very hard to be sober from off of hard controlled substance, who's in a PhD program, who's totally been used by men.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1 to listen to your message. Press 2 to erase and to send your message with normal delivery. Press 1 to send your message. Thank you. Your message has been sent. Goodbye.
Oh, he totally betrayed me. Oh, the voicemail is full, and I've been leaving tons of messages. And what if that means that he hasn't been picking up the other messages? See, this is wire on my glasses. It's part of the look. Anyway, so I wanted to call and share a couple things, but let's go ahead and talk about maybe stuff you've gone through on this type of issue. So, this person is not good, and he's given me some experience now, so maybe I can minister to you. Oh gee, how do we start? Well, let me go ahead and hang this back up one moment, please. I need to get me some water, just a second. Okay, just a second. Just to show how elegant this eccentric guy is here, Tyler Hamilton, I thought I would show you the water from this crystal pitcher. This is, I think, from my Armenian family. The Armenian aristocrat and Armenian Empire people when they came over to America. Okay. Alright, so a little bit of copper is really good in your water. When you go get a copper cup, make sure there's copper inside, like you see, not stainless steel. So, and if it's like dented like this, it's just to show it's authentic. You see. Okay. So, for you, when you go out and look for friendships, now I'm not talking about the betrayal of, like, family that have known you for years, but actually the betrayal of people that you are interested in meeting to eat, to discuss any possibilities of meeting again and becoming friends. People are not warm, and people for you do lack class and psychological masculinity. They're little boys, they're not really men. They're selfish, they're intimidated by you, and jealous. And they will cut off a potential friend after 5 minutes of conversation. And now this is a culture that says, you know, Vincent de Paul, Catholic Charities, Casa Esperanza, Homeless Shelter, Santa Barbara, and being of service to help people that are defeated and disenfranchised. And people are naughty, these men, and they're bad boys, and they're into mistreating other men because it's their sense of power. They're not experienced, and they're not teachable, and they're moody. And that's about that for those notes. Now, I think a really important thing that you want to remember is wherever you go, make that a safe space to be different with a unique voice. That's okay to do. And when you do that, by having safety for your unique voice, people you meet that come along become jealous. And they'll flick you off, even though you have intentionally created a safe place for your soul and those that want to come into your sphere, so to speak. Okay. I don't think that these... Right. Human beings are made to love and be loved, whether it be opposite gender or same gender, and to use reasoning when conducting life. I've talked about this, but people that are betraying you are actually pitiful, and they need you to be loving and kind. Going to have to go toward these. Okay. People, if they're not evolved, and you have been a bit evolved because of maybe substance abuse or leaving prostitution or self-hatred, because maybe people in the past, could be family or those that you thought were friends, or even those that you thought were family, and you are leaving the self-hatred for yourself after all the betrayal that's been done to you. Thus, you've been able to create some type of evolution. They will reject you. And they will shun you if you are doing something to survive. The rejection on you is not about you, but them. And it's like in the wee hours of the morning right now, and please excuse me for my fatigue. They don't have the strength to surrender their own judgments of you. They will refuse to meet you halfway, rationally. And they lack the tools on how to help themselves and bandage their wounds up, because they are difficult to get to say they are wrong. They are challenged by what is hurtful to their ego. So when you come along, this is really where you come in. And Social Alchemy Project here, Access Management, comes in with you to just hold your hand if it needs to be held. Because this is where Satan comes in as well, because he wants you to fail. And it's really about good versus evil, and this plays a big role. It's a social dissonance. Those people that betray you are hypocritical. Oh, I barely even speak. To put in my dentures. Much better. However, I've said this before, that it's about love over judgment. Just let them do what they're doing, because they're really making a fool out of themselves. And the denial is strong, and you will raise the veil. And, you know, these folks are probably victims of their dads going gay and their mothers being stuck with, you know, taking care of their sons. And so these sons lack a sense of psychological masculinity, and so they're swinging over to the gay community because they think the gay community has Rich Fag America written all over it, which is not the case. It's much harder to find it than it was in the day. The quality of men, or we would call them little boys, wouldn't we, is low, very low, and these boys are getting off on cheating you out by making you fall down in the world to feel unsafe and to put you in a fog and not see the light, because they have control over folks maybe at their work. So they think they can do that when they meet you, or try to, you know, get to hear information about you as you want to date them or something rather. Once you come out of your problems, you don't have to go back. And when you change, you outgrow people. You really do. And you attract a higher spiritual of people. And you learn that you can walk with people via books or video portrayals that I inspire men to do, teaching, symposiums, workshops at Social Alchemy Project, Access Management Flights, retreats. And it is a big deal, and must have strength to pursue what is righteous and true to self by seeing the problems. Oh, wait, this goes into notes we've already used file, so not smart. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why these boys get away with this is because nobody has put a stop to it, and you have a personal and social responsibility to do something, and to not be an asshole about this, okay? You don't have to be religious either to walk on the fine line. Just as men, you know, please know that these boys will be against you because they can't use you using their whoredom and manipulating you with their bodies for sex to get into your wallets, to hopefully move in. And then they will create problems, possibly. These boys don't like to be told they are wrong, and they've been wrong for a long time. So when you leave pornography, addiction with the violence, okay, and drugs, and all the things that are daunting, you see through the insecurity of these boys. That's why they're behaving this way. And they've been very dark. And the curtain of darkness is to be raised. And now to have all of us walking toward the light in a men-to-men culture. Christians need to be re-educated as well, since they are the reason some go into the streets for love to find them. And, some people say, these boys need to get AIDS for a good week and then come back. And, after feeling totally rejected by family and friends, so that they can see how maybe you feel. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Because you're sharing, really, your story with people. And this is very important. So let's just put it this way. Not being loved properly, therefore becoming mentally ill. And I've said this, I haven't cited any journals, but a lot of psychologists are writing that everybody's a little skewed and a little ding, 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 mentally ill. Because, we're all products of a very schizophrenic political system. Drain the swamp over there while your own swamp is being drained yourself. Okay. And the betrayal and the abandonment of democracy, and a country being very lost and angry with sons, young men, and their absent fathers or dads. And these young kids are not, we're talking of age, thank you very much. These kids with their problems are not ready to face someone they can look up to unless they can be taken out to dinner and can get a meal for their tummies. Which, I don't blame them. Most of their problems, if not all, is due to maybe their biological parents. Interpersonal relationships is a problem for these boys, and you learn that all at home. And you have a interest to relate truth with yourself and learn to articulate verbally things you've never heard yourself say because of your kindness and your caring spirit. These boys maybe are not yet at a place of hating their life because of age. And maybe you understand hating your life because you can't control maybe your own behavior, or you hate your life because you haven't fulfilled the goals, and you're now thinking maybe you won't because drugs has taken a toll on you, and let's face it, you feel like a loser. So when you go and meet these young men, one of your standalone demands is, please value me. And when they promote that, or provide that, it's hurtful. And the only thing we can do is take it to the Lord, Jesus Christ. Okay, so, okay, let's see what we can find here. It's exciting, isn't it? So you are erected and called and chosen to embrace a whole new world of a new gay thought. And that is, where are we in 2018, 2019, and beyond? You must think about what you've done, and you can't do this forever, okay? And that is trusting those that can't be trusted when you first meet them. But don't be hanging up phones, okay? Don't be rude. These males may soon go back to vanity, of course, even after getting suicidal and having too much time on their hands and you have too much love in your, that's right, panties, or whitey tighties, Fruit of the Looms. All right. Your life is been about traveling to a higher plane of respect for yourself and respect for other people. It is a homage of righteousness, dignity, forgiveness, and leaving pain and agony, self-fulfillment of losing everything and being homeless and going down the tunnel and not repenting. It's time to see that we have a loss collectively, but we also have a righteousness, a civility, a dignity, what have you, that is bubbling, you know, in your heart because of your love. So, love in the Bible is considered a very, it's just this hat is wool. Ouch. Anyways, so I'm kind of getting off the truck when I say those things, but these boys can't take off the armor of God once it's on, and if they do, they're in big trouble. So while you are being the messenger and you're with your armor of God on, you can take off the mask as well, but keep the armor on and show the boys that you're not better than them and you want to help them get along, do better, and you're willing to associate with them like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ hung out with the thieves and the prostitutes, the worst of society that would be killed in the day of Jesus Christ walking the face of the earth. You are not needing to be a snob. It is a lying culture, and saying these lies to people that these boys will give you is worse of a thing than cocaine. You can't do that to people. Lie to them. So in the affection and the open door of your heart you're giving, you also have to put a control pacifier on this that's capable of lying. The Bible says that there is life and death in the tongue, and it makes reference of the throat being one's own grave. So these metaphors are very fascinating. You love talking about recovery and helping yourself and then helping other people. And these kids that haven't been through a run-in with the law or be arrested, what have you, they don't see the gap, but you do. And you could extend the brotherhood. Now, I'm not talking bromance with the little perks, the favors. I'm talking about really being there. You know, if you find on those many issues and you know someone's in need, your brother, you can help them. Cream rises to the top, and that means your discipline that helps your force of character and polishes your heart will then mean your cream rises to the top. Even if you have the filthy gorgeous, okay? Filthy ass wicked story, but gorge, because you're a fab. You could still lose these guys. And if they'll meet you for lunch or dinner or brunch or what have you, or breakfast, They're doing it to size you up and sniff around and see what you have and put you through their gauntlets. We talk about that all the time. Men do these things because they have not been told this before. And the betrayal is an abuse. And it's essentially rape. And if you've been in jail because of drugs or improper sex, I don't know, and you've got to tell people about that criminal history, because your boys can learn from that. And you've planted the seed, all right? These kids these days are very arrogant and they're very proud. And they are pieces of shit. So, we are complete with that. And one of the things that I want to leave you with is what I said earlier. Totally. Create a safe space to be different with your unique voice. And shame on these emotionally tricky little boys. Men, don't get involved. Let them know your rules, and be definitely non-biased. And know that if something you do comes back void, it might just be the truth that you did plant a seed. But only God causes rain to water the seed, okay? So, hey, if you're hurt, please love on these people. Love on these boys and pray for them. Because prayer is one of the main healers. And sometimes folks think that it is better than psychiatry. I love you.